Zoom. We're all getting used to this crazy environment, aren't we? I'm delighted to do this. And I have great admiration for WISeKey. One of the founding members of the Blockchain Research Institute. They have extraordinary technology. This is where I am right now. I've been quarantined up here with my extended family on the lake for the last, well, we're in our 5th month now. We were early adopters of the social distancing strategy. And but this is a truly extraordinary situation, and it's really, to me, a turning point in human history. This pandemic is going to cause very profound changes to our economy, our behavior, our society. Some leaders and governments that failed the challenge will be replaced, and they should. Many institutions will be scrutinized, hopefully for the better. And the pandemic has also revealed some deep problems in our systems for innovation, for commerce, data, technology, infrastructure. And the pandemic has a lot to do with data or lack of it. And clinicians, epidemiologists, government officials have been working in the dark. We have no early warning systems. Our supply chains have failed us. Consumers lacking transparency and fear of hoarded goods and services. And surely this is a time when we can think about reinventing technology to prevent something like this from occurring in the future, and even to stop this one in its tracks now, and also to help us rebuild the economy and move forward with a successful economy. And fortunately, the digital age is entering a second era. First era, mainframes, minis, PCs, the internet, the web, mobile web, social media, the cloud, big data, and now technology is infusing itself into everything. The physical world, and WISeKey has is transforming billions of inert objects into animated devices that communicate, and soon we'll be doing transactions. We have the Internet of Things. We have technology that does things that it wasn't programmed to do. And to us, the foundational technology for the second era is, in fact, blockchain. For 40 years, we've had an Internet of Information. Now we're getting an Internet of Value, or anything of value from money, securities, the data in our identities, health records, airline tickets, you name it, can be managed, stored, transacted in a secure and private way, and where trust is not achieved by a middleman, it's achieved by cryptography, collaboration, and some clever code. Now, at the Blockchain Research Institute, we have 110 projects exploring all kinds of different areas, and a subset of these is called Blockchain for Good. And what I'd like to do in the next 7 minutes is focus on public health. Surely it's time to reinvent public health. And there are a lot of elements here. The manufacturers of all the equipment, pharmaceuticals, and so on. There are wholesalers and supply chains, pharmacies that have to deal not just with goods, but patient records, medical facilities that are brimming with smart devices that can communicate and learn, and insurance companies who are having a real struggle in this environment. So we've been doing some work on blockchain and pandemics, and I'd like to just spend a minute each on 5 opportunities. First is a supply chain. How can it be that we can't get a paper mask to a frontline worker? And to me and to us here, blockchain is the new supply chain. You think about this is a $50 trillion industry, and you got trains and boats and planes and trucks and you know, all kinds of institutions, intermediaries and escrow agents and borders and tax authorities, and there are all kinds of devices, railway cars, and that right now you know what's in a railway car because it has a piece of paper in an envelope up inside the car. We have traditional systems of EDI and you know, of ERP and so on. Imagine if all of that were a state where real time people, organizations, and things were communicating and shared a common view of the truth, real time, where there could be micro transactions, devices purchasing things and establishing a reputation as a trustworthy device, where we could have smart payments and so on. And blockchain has a great promise there. And especially in a time of pandemic, we could be tracking and procuring medical supplies with technology that is smart and communicates. We could know the authenticity of a ventilator. Where did it come from? Is it a valid ventilator? Who's handled it? And so on. All of the logistics, the transport, and the custody of these devices. Fred Smith, CEO of FedEx, said, "We invented the chain of custody, that idea." He said this to me in front of a large audience of thousands of people. And now we're going to do it again. We're going to rebuild the logistics industry around blockchain. Moog used to manufacture precision air parts and then ship them to Boeing and Airbus. Now they 3D print these parts in the Boeing factory using blockchain as a transactional platform, and they're now doing this for medical supplies and ventilators. So just out, my new book is called Supply Chain Revolution: How Blockchain Technology is Transforming the Global Flow of Assets. And it started shipping a week ago on Amazon.com. Secondly, health data. I mean, we lack the data that we need. And this is part of a broader issue of our identity that perhaps we'll talk about later. But we create all this data. Our bodies create this data. More broadly, the transactions that we do, the location that we have, the test results that we get, the medications we take, and so on. And our heart rate is being captured by devices, and soon our temperature and whether or not we're coughing. But all of that is captured by big institution that's kept in silos. Imagine a self-sovereign healthcare record where state mandates anonymize civilian data about critical health information, where we control our identities and they provide pertinent health information that helps with our treatment, but there are incentive systems where we make that data available, perhaps in an anonymized way or otherwise. And what you would have is data, real-time health data that represents the entire population. How extraordinary. Pandemic, early warning systems stop it in its tracks. And of course, and we're talking about today, you can have a health certification attached to an individual's identity. We can have our cake and eat it too. We can have privacy and protect our own data at the same time, making data available to solve a problem like this. I'm running out of time, so I'll just tell you, we've been talking about incentives. I mean, you can get governments and states to force people to behave well, or you can get people to act with integrity. And we've done some work on the tokenization of value to create incentives for good behavior. How about skills? How do we get the right people? Well, skills in a talent registry for license and staffing. We create issuing medical certifications on a blockchain, and we can build a global medical talent marketplace. And then coming out of this, how do we rebuild the economy? There's much to be done, but it turns out that one of the problems with cash, it's not just that it's a foundation of organized crime, the global drug industry, and tax evasion, and a bunch of other problems. It's dirty, and it carries viruses. So could we have not just self-organizing cash like Bitcoin or corporate cash like Libra, but get ready for state-based or central bank digital currencies being led by China, be first out across One Belt, One Road, into Asia, into Africa, and threatening to become, replace the US dollar as the currency of record. So the Fed is scrambling, and there's just a ton of activity. And you heard it here first, another new book by Alex Tapscott called The Financial Services Revolution: How Blockchain is Transforming Money Markets and Banking, and it digs into all of this. So we could have digital cash, supply chain finance could stimulate the economy, and trade finance is pretty much moving to blockchain. Blockchain can be used for insurance, risk management, and also for building high performance business models in every industry. So that's a quick tour in 10 minutes of a 1-hour presentation. If you want to know more about it, this report is publicly available now. And it's blockchainresearchinstitute.com, and you can get the report there. These are big changes. Can we do this? My view is that the future is not something to be predicted. The future is something to be achieved. We can achieve a very different future if we will it. So thanks very much, Carlos. Back to you.